A taxi drives right under me, comes across the bridge, and the car drives straight into that post and explodes. I fell over, hit my head on the back of the back wall in the post, woke up, and then just carried on.
Hello and welcome to Backstage Pass. My name is Jeff Senour. It is my pleasure to be here today, and we have an amazing guest. He is a singer, he is a songwriter, and he's also a combat veteran that has served our nation greatly. And we are honored to have him today. Please welcome my guest, Elliot McKenzie. Elliot, what a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me where you grew up. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the city of Cerritos, California. It's about 35, 40 minutes away from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know right where it is. I grew up in Southern Cal, Valencia area. So yeah, I know right. So you grew up there. When did you start getting started in music?
I've actually been doing music since I was probably in 5th grade. My mom got the bright idea of going out and buying a snare drum for me one day. And
it's a nice mom.
I guess she didn't realize of all the noise that comes with it. And so so 5th grade I started playing drums. And then I played drums and I sang all the way through high school. I was in my high school gospel choir. I was in my high school drum line. So music has been a part of my life since I was in elementary school.
Yeah, same with me. I remember watching the Beatles when I was 8 years old and going, I want to learn to play guitar. That's awesome. And so and my mom was a musician as well. But so where'd you go to high school?
So I went to Gar High School in Cerritos, California. Yeah.
And then what age, how old were you when you went into the military?
So 5 days after graduating high school, I went into the Marine Corps. So I was in the Marine Corps boot camp. I was 18.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Was it scary?
It was, but I was well prepared. I had really good recruiters, and I was in the delayed entry program for about a year. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of knowledge about what to expect, and I also went to an Marine Corps / law enforcement high school called Southeast Academy.
Okay.
And so in that school was actually operated and ran by 2 former Marine Corps drill instructors. And so we wore uniforms every day, and it was very Marine Corps-ish at that school. Okay. And so through that experience, I also gained a lot of knowledge, and I was really prepared when I went in, so it wasn't too scary for me.
What made you choose the Marine Corps?
So I chose the Marine Corps because I liked the dress blues.
Nice.
That was one of the big reasons. And then also because I wanted a challenge. Growing up, I had always been that kid that wanted to do something in life where I would be challenged. I didn't want to just give, or I didn't want things to be given to me. And so I wanted to go into a branch of service that would present a challenge to me. And when I talked to the different recruiters from the different branches, the Marine Corps constantly stressed about how you earn everything you get. You earn the title Marine. It's very challenging. We're the hardest branch to get through boot camp with. And so that was really attractive to me.
Did you go to Camp Pendleton or they have what, Camp Pendleton in San Diego, right?
So they have MCRD San Diego, which is where all the recruits on the West Coast go.
Okay.
And then they have MCRD in Paris Island, which is where all the recruits on the East Coast go. So I went to MCRD San Diego.
Okay. Which is right on the airport there.
Oh yeah, it's literally next to the airport. One of the things that I remember from recruit training was every day when you go to the PT field to do physical training, it's literally right next to the taxiway and the runway for the airport. Yeah. And so you keep wishing that you were on one of those planes.
When we taxi out, when I was at Southwest Airlines, we'd taxi out and go, there's the sign right there. We are proud, we are Marine, hoorah, we are. Mm-hmm. So every time we taxi out, we'd see that. And so a lot of times you'd see the cadets or whatever out there training, recruits training. And did you do music in the military?
Yeah, so
entertain the troops?
I let go of the music while I was in my first few years of the Marine Corps, but then I kept the singing going. I would sing in the shower. I would sing in my room while I was getting dressed for work in the morning. I would sing around the hallways at work. So some of my fellow Marines noticed this about me. And in 2006, while I was actually on deployment over in Okinawa, Japan, one of my friends introduced me to a Marine who was stationed in Okinawa who had a recording studio in his barracks room.
Wow.
And so I ended up recording an entire album with them while I was on deployment.
Overseas?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was,
Is that on iTunes? Is it available?
That, no.
Okay.
That was extremely amateur, and that was literally my first time ever writing a song and my first time ever recording music. And so we have that on a CD. I still have that today at my house.
Yeah, it's priceless.
But it's definitely not on iTunes or anything like that.
I think as any as a songwriter myself, you look back at some of your first work and you go, oh my gosh, I'm surprised anyone listened to it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and you improve, and what a craft it truly is. And I don't know about you, but I mean, you wake up probably in the middle of the night at times with lyrics or melodies, and you're writing them down, you're putting them on your phone or recording. Otherwise, you forget. You forget it, they go away. You know, I wrote that hit last night, but I forgot to record it.
Right, yeah, my thing is I always do videos.
Okay.
So whenever I have an idea for an arrangement or a song idea, I'll record it on video, I'll sing it, or I'll just talk about the idea in my head. That way, when I come back to it later on, I remember it. Because I also have traumatic brain injury, so I forget a lot of things throughout the day, and so it's vital for me to be able to do stuff like that, to remember the songs.
And how thankful we are for the technology nowadays that we can, you know, it was a reel-to-reel tape recorder when I was growing up, or a cassette. What inspires you? What inspires your music, and what is your kind of? I try to write kind of deep message about life. I didn't serve, but I'm very patriotic, so I've written a couple songs about patriotism and honoring our country, and every songwriter has their thing, you know. So what inspires you?
So for me, it's a mix of two things. Because of the fact that I'm an R&B artist, I do a lot of traditional R&B music that talks about relationships, it talks about cheating, it talks about love, it talks about sex, it talks about all the different types of things that couples go through and that single people go through in their journey in life with romance. And then on the other part, I talk a lot about the military experience and mental health. Like for instance, I've released one of the biggest singles I have now is called Gunshots. And Gunshots is a song that talks about being a combat veteran with PTSD.
I saw the video.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was my first big single that came out. And then after that, I wanted to be able to touch a wider audience about mental health. And so I released a song called Fight Back, which is a song that specifically talks about fighting back against whatever mental illness or disability that you wake up with every single day, and you fight in your head or your body every single day. And one of the next songs that I'm working on is a song that's going to be called No, You're Not Alone, because of the fact that a lot of people feel isolated and they feel like they're alone when they're going through these issues. And so I'm in the studio right now recording that, and that's going to be one of my upcoming singles.
Nice. Very cool. And I assume all of your new stuff's on iTunes, Spotify, all the total, YouTube and everything.
So all the new stuff is,
Nice,
not the stuff from 2006.
Right.
But my newer stuff from Gunshots forward, it's all going to be on iTunes. And then my debut album, Therapy Session, is going to be out later this year.
Awesome. You said you had traumatic brain injury. What can you tell me what happened?
So I was on a post on a bridge in Ramadi, Iraq in 2005 when I was with the Marine Corps. I was an 0311 rifleman. And the common thing back then in Iraq was for them to fill the trunk of a car with explosives and then drive that car into one of our posts or into one of our buildings to try and kill as many of us as possible. So I was on this man-made bridge over a river in Ramadi, and a taxi drives right under me, comes across the bridge, and then about 45 degrees across from me was an Iraqi post where we were also there supporting them. And the car drives straight into that post and explodes. And the explosion was so big that I got knocked unconscious in my post. I fell over, hit my head on the back of the back wall in the post, got knocked unconscious. I don't know how long I was out. I estimate about 4 to 5 minutes. Woke up and then just carried on, you know, sucked it up like we're taught to, and carried on throughout the rest of the day.
So you remember it? It's not like you forgot the event.
No, I remember that vividly. Yeah.
I would think that to me, music is so therapeutic. The honor of being able to get on stage, it's such a release of energy, probably as much as an athlete or people that haven't experienced that. It's euphoric. It's that adrenaline that goes. So I'm sure that is a huge therapy for you, your music.
Yeah. So when I got out of the Marine Corps and I started noticing that PTSD and depression and anxiety were a part of my life now, I started seeing a counselor at a vet center in Corona, and she taught me how to use music to feed myself adrenaline and to fight the depression through the chemicals that your brain releases when you're going through a good time or when your adrenaline is pumping through you. Because she taught me about how the science is that adrenaline is like the happy chemical. in your brain, and the more you release it, the better you feel. And so she taught me how I can use concerts, and I can use being on stage and that nervous energy you get right before you go up on stage, and how it turns into positive energy halfway through your set. And then she taught me about how I can use songwriting as a form of expression. And so it's been nothing but therapeutic for me ever since she taught me that. I mean, I started doing it because it was a passion, and now it's not only a passion, but it's also a necessity, and it's become something that is a part of my life that I do for not only myself, but also my fans and my followers now as well.
It's awesome. And by the way, thank you for your service. We just cannot thank you enough for being willing to go out there and do what you did. You know, Marines and all the armed forces, you know, the servant's heart that, in the country that we live in, that is so truly amazing. You've seen the rest of the world. It's nothing like here.
Right.
And when you do your concerts, do you have a band that backs you, or how do you?
It's been all me. It's just me and an audio track.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Where are some of your favorite places you played?
BB King's, when BB King's was still open. That was actually my first big set, my first big show in Hollywood. I played at this festival last year called the We Rise Festival, which is a festival in LA County that's meant to basically raise awareness about mental health issues across the whole country, which I'm actually going to be performing in again this year.
Nice.
And then one of the best experiences I've had was I actually sang the national anthem for a Trace Adkins concert earlier this year. And so opening up his show was a blessing and an experience that I'll never forget.
That's amazing. Yeah. I've had the opportunity to sing the national anthem at certain events, and for some reason I get more nervous about that song. Because you go, if I blow one lyric,
right?
So your heart raises and everything. So that's a big honor to get to do that, especially as a Marine, you know. And where's the studio you're recording at?
At my place. I have a home studio.
Nice.
I basically saved up a couple $1,000s, and I went and I bought studio equipment, and I've just been recording and mixing my own music ever since.
Wow. Do you do it on keyboard, or do you?
No, I don't produce. So the instrumentals come from producers that I work with, that I get them from, and then I produce the vocals and I write the songs. So all the vocals and the arrangements and the lyrics are mine, and then the production comes from them.
Wow, very cool.
Thanks.
Is your family still in LA or Southern Cal?
Yeah, my mom lives in Yorba Linda, and then my sister lives in Long Beach, so we're all local.
Okay. And I think it's pretty neat that you're using your music for good. There's so much out there of not so good. You know, I mean, for lack of better words. And you know, it seems like just about every song you pull up nowadays, it's explicit. And, you know, I get it, but you know, for our youth and young ones, it's good to have, you know, music that's got a purpose and a meaning behind it. And when you shot the video, that was a really great video.
Thank you.
Did you? How did you get the footage?
Okay.
That was because you had like soldiers shooting rifles. It's pretty cool.
So basically, a little bit of behind the scenes with that was actually an airsoft team.
Really?
So those are actually airsoft rifles. They're not real rifles. But I directed it. I cast it pretty much. I did probably 80% of the video. TMR, which is the Marine rapper who's in the song as well. He came up with some of the scenes, like the classroom scene that you see. But I did all the location scouting.
Where'd you shoot
like
that?
I said, the casting. That was shot out here in Southern California. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything was shot near my house.
It looks pretty real.
Thank you.
I'm like, wow, would you hire a bunch of Marines to come in?
Well, actually, two of the guys that were in that scene are actually Marine Corps veterans.
Really? Yeah, they looked like the real deal.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that it looked as authentic as possible. And so when I was looking for guys to play on that fire team, I made sure that I hired people who were actually combat veterans. And so, like I said, two of the guys were actually Marine Corps combat veterans.
Nice.
And then we assisted the other two to make sure that they knew how to make it look as realistic as possible, because I wanted the video to be as dramatic as possible so that the message would get across.
It is. It's very dramatic.
Thank you.
It's very well done. Great job on producing. And you also are an actor.
Yeah.
So I read a little bit about that. what inspired you to get into acting? You started in school, right? You took
Yeah.
acting class. So
Yeah.
take me on that journey.
Okay, so it was actually back when I was in college. I took a few acting classes because a friend of mine in the music industry actually suggested that I take them because of the fact that he was basically saying, you might do music videos one day. Like if your music career expands and you're doing music videos, you know, a lot of musicians take acting classes because of stuff like that.
It is like acting.
Right,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then there's also a lot of actors and musicians cross over a lot. You know, a lot of actors do music and a lot of musicians act. And so he was like, why don't you just take a few acting classes and see how you like it? So I took a few acting classes in school, and the acting classes went so well that the professor in the class actually put me in a casting call for an MTV show, which is how I ended up on that MTV show.
Wow.
And then the agent that hired me for the MTV show that worked for MTV liked me a lot, and she ended up getting me cast for other shows. And so the snowball just kept rolling. And then my most recent thing was I was actually on episodes of veteran television.
Wow. What'd you do on that?
So I was a principal actor on the show called A Grunt's Life, which is out now, which they're actually working on turning into a movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're not very busy, right?
I don't sleep much.
Yeah. How many hours a night you sleep?
Between the insomnia and just being busy, I'd say between 4 and 6 at the most.
Yeah. Well, that mind, it's always going.
Yeah,
so that,
it is.
And then all the lyrics and melodies and acting. What's your next? Do you have an acting thing coming up at all?
No, right now my focus is primarily on music.
The album.
Getting the album done, doing shows. I've been booked for probably, I'd say 6 different events in the next 4 months.
Nice.
So I'm worried about that. I'm focusing on getting those shows ready. And so right now it's pretty much music all the way. If an acting gig comes up, then I'll definitely take it if the time is there.
Yeah.
But my brain is focused on the music part right now for sure.
Yeah. And when's the release going to be?
The release, I'm shooting for late 2019, so I'm hoping November, around Veterans Day. I think that'd be a good day to release, or around that time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, maybe we can do a co-event sometime. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing.
Have you know, sing together and stuff. I would love that.
Yeah.
You know, I wish we would have had to rehearse something ahead of time. It would have been cool to hear you sing. Yeah. Absolutely.
When the album comes out, I'll come back and we'll do a show.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Any big trips planned or anything? What do you like for hobbies other than music?
I love to travel. As you know, one of the benefits of being in entertainment is you do shows across the country, around the world. And through those experiences, I've learned to love traveling. I love simple things like sitting in an airplane and looking out the window at, you know, the ground moving as I'm flying to a new location to do a show. And so traveling is a huge thing that it's on my list that I want to start doing more of.
You sound like me. I fly airplanes for a living, and I still marvel looking down. Sometimes I want to yell at the whole plane, like, hello, we're over New York, you know, or because they're all like on their iPads.
Right, yeah.
Just like, you're in a modern marvel of technology, you know, enjoy this. So, well, I can't, how do we get a hold of, do you have a website?
Yeah.
Can you tell our viewers what your website is?
So my website is ElliotMcKenzie.com. It's 2 L's and 2 T's in Elliot, because a lot of people put 1 in 1, so I make sure people know. And then my Instagram is Elliot_McKenzie. And my Facebook, you can just look up my name, Elliot McKenzie. And if worse comes to worse, you can literally just Google my name, Elliot McKenzie, 2 L's, 2 T's in Elliot, and all that stuff will pop up.
I'm going to friend you on Facebook, Instagram, and all of that.
Thank you.
Elliot, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you, and not only your talent of your music and your acting, but your service to our country, because it means a lot to us. I really appreciate that. So keep up the great work, and I hope to have you back sometime, and we'll do a concert maybe together.
Definitely,
So thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate it a lot.
Of course.
So, folks, thanks for showing up on Backstage Pass today. This is Jeff Senour signing off. Tune in next time on the next Pass. We'll see you next time. Thanks again. Go out and have a great day. God bless America.
One life that I've been living, one life that puts a smile on my face. I've got one life that's been forgiven, one life can make a difference. All it takes is one life to make this world, make it a better place.